Some marriages begin with vows. Mine began with my mother making an announcement at a gala and then behaving as if fate had simply borrowed her voice. The truly dangerous part was not that she had been wrong to do it. The dangerous part was that, months later, I was no longer sure I wanted the life she had interrupted back. By then, my house had stopped feeling like mine in the singular. It had become ours in small, stubborn ways. Alex's running shoes lived by the terrace doors, though she claimed they were neatly positioned and not taking over the entryway, which was a lie supported by expensive laces. Her olive tree had grown 3 new branches and looked increasingly pleased with itself. Her books occupied not only the left side of the nightstand but also the chair near the window, part of the dresser, and one shelf in the library that had once held architectural monographs and now contained a deeply judgmental stack of books on recovery, nervous systems, strength, and something called functional breathing. I told her breathing had functioned well enough before she moved in. She told me I had confused survival with technique. Marriage to Alex had taught me many things. For example, a woman could be calm, disciplined, generous, and still deeply annoying before sunrise. A wife could kiss the back of your neck while you were reading an acquisition report and make the word capitalization lose all meaning. A person could move into your bedroom slowly, then all at once, until her sweater on your chair looked less like an invasion and more like evidence that someone had chosen to stay. And jealousy, unfortunately, did not vanish simply because one had confessed it in a kitchen and survived. It became more elegant, more specific, more humiliating. I was working from home on a Thursday afternoon when I heard Alex laughing on the terrace. Not her polite client laugh. Not her I am allowing this joke to live for social reasons laugh. Her real laugh. Low. Warm. A little rough at the edges. I looked up from my laptop in the library. The French doors were open. Beyond them, sunlight lay across the terrace in soft gold, and Alex stood near the outdoor table, phone at her ear, wearing black running shorts, a white tank, and an expression that made it very difficult to respect the boundaries of a workday. "I know," she said into the phone, smiling. "You've said that 3 times. A pause. Then another laugh. My eyes narrowed. Not jealousy. Observation. Marriage required observation. So did corporate leadership. And war. Alex turned slightly, her profile catching the light. "No, I'm not flying to Napa for a weekend event. I'm married now. I have to pretend to be responsible." Another pause. Her smile softened. "I'm very responsible," she said. "Ask my wife." "Actually, don't. She'll testify against me." I looked down at my laptop. Read the same sentence 4 times. It had something to do with zoning overlays. The zoning overlays were not the problem. Alex laughed again. I closed the laptop. Not dramatically. Precisely. By the time I stepped onto the terrace, Alex had ended the call. She looked up immediately. "Hi. Hi." She studied my face for 1 second. Then, very wisely, said nothing. That was how I knew I had a face. I walked to the table and picked up my glass of water, which I had abandoned 20 minutes earlier. "Good call?" I asked. "Fine. Fine." "Yes." That sounded like more than fine. Her mouth curved. "Did it?" "Don't." "Don't what?" "Do the thing where you look pleased that I'm asking." "I'm not pleased." "You are visibly entertained." "I'm married to a woman who treats curiosity like a security breach." "Of course I'm entertained." I took a sip of water. It had gone warm. Unhelpful. Who was it? A client. Current. Former. My face did something. Alex saw it. "Of course. Viv." I didn't say anything. "You have an expression." "I have many expressions." "That one is wearing pearls and holding a knife." I set the glass down. "That is vivid. It's accurate." I asked a normal question. And I answered. "You said former client like it explained the laugh." Alex leaned back against the table, arms folded loosely. She was inviting me to a wellness weekend in Napa. Paid appearance. Good money. Bad boundaries. Nothing. Viv. I looked at her. She smiled, but not teasingly now. "Come here." "No." "Come here anyway." That is not how consent works. That was an invitation, not a command. It sounded suspiciously confident. I know my audience. I should have stayed where I was. I did not. Alex reached for my hand when I came closer, turning my wedding ring gently with her thumb. That small touch still had an unreasonable effect on me. It was becoming a problem. Or possibly a marriage. I said no, she told me. To Napa. Yes. Because of boundaries. Because of boundaries. Because I don't want that kind of work anymore. Because some people here married and treat it like a challenge instead of information. My jaw tightened. Alex's thumb stilled. And she added softer, because when I have a free weekend now, I don't want to spend it charming strangers in expensive linen. I want to be here. I looked down at our hands. A sensible woman would have accepted that. A secure woman would have smiled. I, unfortunately, was still me. Here, I said. With you. My throat tightened. Alex tipped her head slightly. You needed the full sentence? Yes. The honesty costs less than it used to. Still not free. Her expression softened in the way that made me feel seen and mildly offended by the efficiency of it. With you, she repeated. Preferably with your phone turned off, though I realize that may require medical supervision. I can turn off my phone. You once checked email during a massage. That was an emergency. You forwarded a calendar invite. Time sensitive. Emotionally devastating. I tried not to smile. Failed. Alex saw and looked far too satisfied. Are you still jealous? She asked. Direct. Rude. Effective. I am not jealous. She waited. I sighed. A little. Her smile warmed. Good. Still unhealthy. Still attractive. You need better standards. I have excellent standards. I married you. You were coerced by a glamorous widow. I was introduced to a possibility by a glamorous widow. Then I chose. I looked at her. That line still moved something in me every time. I chose. She had said it enough that my fear had begun, reluctantly, to recognize the shape of it. Not believe it all the way. Not yet. But recognize it. Alex tugged me closer. No one else, Viv. I know. No, I mean it. Her voice dropped, losing the humor. Not as a rule. Not as a line we negotiated. Not as something I say when you look like you might stab a woman with a salad fork. I would never use a salad fork. Of course not. You have standards. Exactly. She smiled, then lifted my hand and kissed the inside of my wrist. The gesture was still unfair. I mean, there is no one else because I don't want anyone else, she said. Not in Napa. Not at the studio. Not in any room where someone smiles too long and thinks my attention is a door they can open. My chest went tight and warm at the same time. Terrible combination. Alex. I'm serious. Her eyes held mine. I'm not passing time with you. I'm not trying marriage on. I'm not waiting to see if something better interrupts. I went still. That last sentence found the wound too cleanly. Something better. Someone easier. Someone less guarded, less sharp, less overmanaged, less exhausting. Someone who did not turn vulnerability into procedure. Someone who could say I missed you without first checking whether there was a safer synonym. Alex stepped closer. I know that one, she said quietly. I looked away. Don't. I know, she repeated. And I'm telling you, there isn't something better. My eyes stung. Absolutely not. Not on the terrace. Not near the olive tree. It already had too much confidence. You say things like that, I murmured, as if they're easy. They're not easy. No. No, her hand came to my face, careful as always. They're just true. I looked back at her. The afternoon light made her eyes brighter, almost impossible. I had once believed Alex's confidence was a kind of flirtation, a style, a way of moving through rooms, through clients, through women who wanted to be corrected by her and call it chemistry. But I knew better now. Alex's confidence was not certainty that everything would work. It was a willingness to stand inside something real without pretending she could control the outcome. That was braver than anything I had built. And far more irritating. I love you, she said. No warning. No soft introduction. No scenic build. Just the words, placed between us in daylight. I stopped breathing. Alex did not rush to fix it. She did not add a joke. Did not soften the sentence into something casual. Did not look away because the truth had made the air too charged. She simply waited. The world did not become cinematic. No music swelled. No wind moved through the olive branches at an appropriate emotional tempo. Somewhere down the street, a dog barked twice. Still, the sentence remade the terrace. I love you. Not I'm falling. Not I think. Not this is becoming. I love you. My hand was still in hers. My ring pressed against her fingers. I looked down at it because looking at her had become too much. I wasn't planning to say it like that, Alex said. A laugh escaped me. Small. Unsteady. Were you planning a presentation? I considered dinner. Slides. Maybe a handout. I looked up. She smiled faintly, but her eyes were serious. I thought you deserved something softer, she said. That was the sentence that undid me. Not the declaration. The care beneath it. I stepped closer until there was barely space between us. You are very annoying, I said. Her mouth curved. I know. And invasive. Yes. And difficult. Professionally. And far too pleased with yourself. Usually. My voice caught. I hated that. I let it happen anyway. And I love you too. Alex's face changed. Not a lot. Enough to show me where the words landed. Her breath left her slowly, like something in her had been holding tension for longer than she admitted. You do, she asked. The question was quiet, almost disbelieving. That broke my heart in a place I had not known was still locked. Yes, I said. Obviously. She laughed. A little wet. A little surprised. Obviously. I married you. You did that under unusual circumstances. I let you move your books into my bedroom. Stronger evidence. I gave you 2 drawers. You negotiated like a hostage. I gave you 2 drawers, Alex. Her smile widened. And I love you, I said again because the second time was easier. Still terrifying, but easier. Alex pulled me into her arms. Not carefully this time. Not roughly. Just fully. I went. No stiffness. No performance. No polite pause for dignity. I folded into my wife on the terrace in broad afternoon light and let her hold me like the world had finally stopped asking us to explain ourselves. Her face turned into my hair. I love you, she said again, softer now. I heard you. I'm saying it again. That seems excessive. You like excessive when it's me. Do not become confident. Too late. I pulled back enough to look at her. The laughter in her eyes had returned, but beneath it was something deeper, warmer, steadier than anything we had been given at the beginning. No gala. No audience. No mother arranging the air around us. Just us. Choosing. The weekend began there. Not officially. Not with tickets or reservations or some grand gesture. Though Alex did suggest Malibu and I suggested that if she wanted traffic in our marriage, she should simply call my mother. We stayed home. It became a habit that felt almost illicit. Refusing invitations. Letting calls go unanswered. Canceling dinner plans with people who would survive our absence by discussing it tastefully. Alex called it protecting the marriage. I called it strategic withdrawal. She called that romance with a finance degree. On Friday evening, we cooked together. Technically, Alex cooked and I chopped things under supervision. You're holding the knife like the carrot owes you money, she said. It knows what it did. Relax your hand. I am relaxed. You look like you're acquiring the cutting board. Is this how you speak to all your clients? No, she said, reaching around me to adjust my grip. I like them less. Her body came close behind mine. Too close for vegetables. Alex. Knife safety. You are using knife safety for seduction. Multidisciplinary practice. I turned my head. Her mouth was very near. Is this what you meant by protecting the marriage? I asked. Yes. Through produce. Foundational. I kissed her. The carrot survived. Barely. Later, we ate outside under the string lights Alex had insisted were warm, not sentimental, which was exactly the sort of distinction I would normally mock if she had not been right. The garden smelled of jasmine. The pool reflected the soft glow from the terrace. My phone was inside, turned off. Actually off. Not face down. Not silent. Off. Alex had looked at me with such pride when I did it that I almost turned it back on out of principle. You're staring, I said over dinner. Yes. Why? Because you look peaceful. I paused. That word still felt unfamiliar. Peaceful. Not efficient. Not composed. Not in control. Peaceful. I looked down at my plate. I feel strange, I said. Good strange. Suspiciously good. Alex smiled. That's allowed. I'll need time with that. I figured. She reached across the table and took my hand. No drama. Just her fingers around mine in the warm evening. I was thinking, she said. That sounds expensive. About a honeymoon. I looked up. We are not having a honeymoon. Why? Because we got married under social duress. Exactly. We deserve reparations. I laughed. She looked pleased. Where? I asked, because apparently I was no longer committed to reason. Alex leaned back. Somewhere quiet. Not a resort full of people in white linen discovering themselves? Absolutely not. Could. A small place by the ocean. Or the mountains. No events. No gala-adjacent charity dinners. No one using the word legacy near shrimp. That eliminates half of California. Then we leave California. I turned my ring slowly. The idea moved through me. A trip. Not to perform. Not to be seen. Not to repair optics. Just to be with her. I tried not to let my face reveal too much. Alex saw everything anyway. Too much, she asked. No. No. No, I said. It sounds. I searched for the word. Nice was too small. Beautiful was too exposed. Safe was too frightening. Quiet, I said. Her thumb brushed my hand. Then quiet. After dinner, we did not clean up immediately. This was new. I usually cleaned as proof that I had not lost control of the evening. Alex had pointed that out once, and I had told her if she wanted to remain married, she should consider developing less accuracy. Now the plates sat on the table. The wine breathed in the glasses. The night moved around us. And Alex pulled my chair closer with one foot under the table. That was rude, I said. Efficient. Possessive. She tilted her head. A little. The word moved through me. Possessive used to frighten me. It had meant hands closing too tightly. Expectations disguised as love. People wanting what I represented and becoming resentful when they found a person underneath. But with Alex, possession was not a cage. It was a tension with devotion inside it. Still dangerous. Just not in the old way. A little, I asked. Her eyes darkened. Yes. There are rules. Many. You remember them? I married the woman who wrote them. I stood. She watched me. I moved around the table and stopped beside her chair. She turned toward me, hands resting lightly on my hips. The night held its breath. Are you jealous? I asked. A smile touched her mouth. Sometimes. That surprised me. With whom? Your work. I blinked. My work. Yes. That is not a person. It gets more of your attention than most people survive wanting. I absorbed that. Carefully. Alex's hands stayed at my hips, warm through the fabric of my trousers. I didn't know, I said. I know. Why didn't you say? I was waiting until I could say it without sounding like a neglected houseplant. I glanced toward the living room. Your olive tree would never. She's emotionally secure. She's smug. Also that. I touched Alex's hair, smoothing back a loose strand near her temple. I don't want my work to get more of me than you do, I said. The sentence felt enormous. Alex's face softened. I know. No, I mean it. I swallowed. I don't always know how to stop. But I want to. Her hands tightened slightly. That matters. Is it enough? For tonight? Yes. I looked at her mouth. And tomorrow? Tomorrow we practice again. Of course. Alex believed in repetition. In daily architecture. My father's phrase returned to me unexpectedly. Devotion as a daily architecture. I wondered what he would think of us now. Of this woman sitting at my terrace table, looking up at me with the kind of love that did not ask me to become softer all at once, only more honest by degrees. I bent and kissed her. It began gently. It did not stay that way. Nothing with Alex ever stayed exactly where it began. Her hands slid from my hips to my waist, drawing me closer until I stood between her knees. My fingers moved into her hair. The kiss deepened, slow and warm, with no argument hiding inside it this time. Only desire. And love. Which, I discovered, did not make desire weaker. It made it devastating. Because every touch now carried memory. The first kitchen kiss. The wedding night heat. The fight after Camille. The morning Alex cut off that call and said my wife is not a guest star in my life. The terrace confession. Every version of us layered into the present, making the simple act of kissing her feel impossible to reduce to chemistry. Alex pulled back just enough to breathe. "I love you," she said again. Still testing the words, maybe. Still enjoying them. Still giving them to me like something she intended to keep saying until I stopped flinching internally. I touched her mouth with my thumb. "I know." Her brows lifted. "That's it. I love you too. Better. You're demanding. I have standards. I've heard." She stood, and suddenly we were the same height for half a second because I had not stepped back. Her hands moved to my face. "There is only you," she said. The words were quiet. Not rehearsed. Not dramatic. But my body understood before my mind could defend. Only you. Not because no one else existed. Because she had chosen where to look. I kissed her again. This time, when she led me inside, I did not pretend to misunderstand. The house was dim, full of warm lamplight and open doors. The kitchen still held the scent of herbs and lemon. Somewhere, one of Alex's books lay open on the sofa. My work bag sat untouched near the library. Tomorrow there would be emails. Calendar pressure. My mother. There was always my mother. But tonight, there was Alex's hand in mine, her ring cool against my fingers, her body close enough that the rest of the world felt optional. In the bedroom, we moved slowly. Not because we lacked hunger. Because we did not need to outrun fear tonight. Alex undressed me like she was paying attention to more than fabric. Like every pause was a question. Every kiss an answer she waited for me to give. I touched her with less caution than before, learning the places where her control thinned, where her breath caught, where the confident Alexander Brooks became simply Alex under my hand.